back. We've got ourselves another Commander deck box. This one's a little bit different. This one has the Commander display window, but the window is on the front of the deck box. A lot of the Commander deck boxes that I've shown here lately, let me grab one. Here's a Commander deck box, kind of big, but as you can see, it has the Commander on the side here, whereas, the front's just kind of got that plain thing here. Another one that I have here, again, another one, and it's got the Commanders on the sides, as you can see. This one is not like that. It's definitely much smaller, and it's got the Commander window on the front. And it's from a brand called Vensu, which I have taken a look at before. I can't recall off the top of my head if I liked the previous product from them that I reviewed. It's been a little while. But we do have this one that was sent over to me for free in exchange for a review. And we're going to take a look at it, and we're going to see if it is actually worth your money or not. So let's set the box aside. Let's go ahead and pull this out of the plastic. And on first look, okay. First look, it actually looks pretty darn good. Oh, I'm already seeing a loose thread there. But yeah, on first glance, it looks pretty darn good. It does have that black PU leather, which doesn't really feel all that grippy. Yeah, it doesn't feel all that grippy, but it is, it does have that kind of texture feel to it there. And as you can see, obviously, Commander window is on the front, not on the sides. So let me go ahead and start pulling this little piece of paper out here. And we're going to start giving this a quick once-over, and we're going to see how the build quality is. Stitching on the front looks pretty good. The shape here of the Commander window looks pretty decent. The one thing I did notice right away is the Commander window is small. Again, let me break out my other Commander deck here so you can take a look at them side by side. As you can see, this Commander window is obviously much, much smaller than this one. This one is designed so you can actually read the card text as well. This one just shows the artwork. So there is already a bit of a limitation there. All right, let's keep looking at the stitching. Looks good there. All right, let's take a look at the side. Little bit of slight little fraying there, but not too bad. On this side, I am seeing some loose threads coming out here. Again, not sure how clear that comes out on camera, but I am seeing some loose threads right there. So I would say it's average, a little bit better than average, minus these little loose hairs right here. Actually, not that bad. Looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and try to open this up. Magnets feel pretty good, actually. Feel pretty strong. How many magnets do we have here? 3? Let me see. Yes, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So a total of 6. So 3 on the main part of the box and then 3 on the flap. And then it looks like, okay, so this comes all the way open, doesn't it? Wow, it sure does. Okay, so we do have a couple of magnets here on the back here. Actually 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 that hold that back part up. And then it looks like we've got some kind of branding right there. All right. While we're opening all this up, let's continue to look at the stitching. We do actually have a couple of card dividers in there. Wow, those things were really stuck in there. A couple of card dividers we will look at here momentarily. Let's keep looking at the stitching here on the front. Stitching looks okay there. What about on the back? Here's that loose little thread right there, if you can see it. Let's see. Do have a double stitch there, but it feels fine. Okay, and let's check the back flap stitching. Looks mostly okay. A little bit of a double stitch right here around the Commander window. That's also one thing I'm noticing here. Can you all see that? Is that... Hold on. Does that actually... It feels like there's something on there. Hold on. Yeah, because see how it doesn't... It's not clear. There's something on here. There's like a plastic wrap. Is it on the front or back? Or hold on. Can I actually get that off? There we go. Okay, there it is. Yeah, I was like, there's something on there. Okay, so there is a little bit of plastic. Is it on the inside too? I believe it is. Let me see if I can get this off here real quick. There it is. Come on. Oops, trying to get this off. There we go. Okay. Now that looks much clearer. Look at that now. Okay, much better. There we go. Okay, I was thinking, wow, that is kind of a cloudy window, but yeah, it's just got these little films on there that you got to take off. And as far as the plastic, It is a firmer plastic. It's not that kind of soft jelly-like plastic that you sometimes get on these. It is a firmer plastic. So that's actually really, really good. Okay. So not as bad as I thought, although you can probably see there it does pick up fingerprints. So I'm going to have to dust that off here later. But those are my fingerprints. I just put those there. So not going to count off against that. Okay, so what do we got here? We've got some silica gel, which should never be consumed, kids. And then we've got ourselves, it looks like a regular standard snap holder. Okay. So we'll set that aside there as well. Let's take a look at the inside of the box here at the top. Not sure how clear this comes out on camera, but there is a bit of an issue right over here where it looks like it's kind of not really glued down quite right. There is a little bit of excess glue there. Tiny bit of excess glue there. That corner looks better than this one. And this corner looks good. That one could be better. And then you've got the front section right over here, which, as you can see, it's a little bit different than kind of what you normally see. Usually there's a little flap right there that holds the, kind of gives you that little square shape right there in the front, similar to this one right here. As you can see, it's got, it's all surrounded on all sides. This one is not. That's so you can just kind of go and slide it in just like that. And again, it's not meant to necessarily show the text, which is what you're, getting blocked out here, but it is going to at least show the artwork there. So. And let's take a look on the inside here. Let's see, I'm not seeing any sort of wrinkling. Looks good. The purple looks really nice too. It's kind of like a royal purple. Feels really nice. These do feel as if they are glued down. Oh, actually, here at the bottom, this front part here is not glued down at the bottom. It is glued on the sides, but it's not glued down at the bottom. I do feel it moving ever so slightly. Ever so slightly. Okay. But the overall build quality, if you put aside the little frame right here and a little bit of the excess glue in this corner, I would say that the build quality is at least average. It's not bad. I mean, when you close it up and everything, it still looks pretty good. Of course, ignore the front because I've completely got that all dirty now with my fingers. But the overall build quality is actually pretty good. It's not bad at all. I would probably give that a pass just for build quality. All right, so let's set this aside for now. Let's take a look at the snap holder. These are all usually pretty standard. Wow, this plastic just tore. All right, so these are all usually pretty standard. Nothing too fancy about these. Snap it from the edge there. These, like some of the others I've found, do come with a little inner sleeve there, which is really, really nice. There it is right there. One thing I have wondered, where are my Yu-Gi-Oh cards? Can I slide my Yu-Gi-Oh card into this? I sure can. So a sleeved Yu-Gi-Oh card with the inner sleeve that this comes with could very easily go into there, and there you go. Yeah, let's actually slide it all the way back in here so you can see what it looks like. Now, of course, that's another thing we want to test. This does come out pretty easily. It doesn't snugly go in there. It's very, very loose. But there you go. That's how it would look. I mean, that right there is a Yu-Gi-Oh card. So it kind of cuts off some of the artwork. That's unfortunate. One thing I can do, though, is let's break out one of my cards from my commander deck here. Let's see how it looks with a Magic the Gathering card in there. I'm going to leave the Magic the Gathering card in the sleeve that it's already in. And we're just going to put it in here. And we're going to see how it looks. Because I imagine with, if this is being billed as a commander style deck box, you're going to want to see what it looks like with a Magic card in there. So yeah, there you go. If it's a Magic card, you can clearly see the artwork. You can see the name. You can also see what kind of creature it is, like if it's a creature, devil, that sort of thing. And it does have the name there. Of course, unfortunately, you can't read the text, so you will ultimately have to pull it out in case your opponent needs to read the text on your commander. But yeah, that's how it looks with the Magic card there. So pretty standard little snap holder. Nothing too fancy about it. So we've also got these two card dividers. These are, wow, these are some thick boys here. These are of the thicker variety. These are not 0.5s. These are at least 0.7s. Let me grab my micrometer here. These feel like 0.7s to me. Yep, they are 0.7s. Okay, so these are of the thicker variety. And they do have a decent amount of flex. But yeah, they are definitely thick. So, I mean, there's kind of basic card dividers, nothing terribly fancy about them. They're just there to divide your cards. That's pretty much it. So now the big test is the product description actually says that it holds 100 sleeved standard sized cards, which is good and bad. And I'm sure any Magic the Gathering Commander player out there is going to understand why that's a problem. Because yeah, you may have your commander deck, but sometimes you're going to need other things like tokens or sideboard, that sort of stuff. So you're kind of hoping that a commander deck box is going to hold more than 100 cards. So we're going to put our 100 card commander deck in here, and we're going to see if we have any additional room. And from the looks of it, it looks like we do have a little bit of extra room. Not a lot, but we do have some. Let me break out my secondary deck here. This is 30 cards. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, so 15 additional cards. Can we get this to slide in here without a problem? Ooh, that is a very tight fit. Come on. Okay, so I was able to get it in there, but it's pretty tight. So that's 115 single-sleeved cards. And if you wanted to put a little more in there, I guess, let me see, can I squeeze another one in here? I'm sure I can. Wow, that is a very tight fit. Okay, so that's 116 single-sleeved cards. I would not feel comfortable putting any more than that in there. Any more than that, you risk damaging your cards. So it does live up to the expectation as far as what is being advertised on the product page. But like I said, if you're a commander player, you're probably going to have tokens. You may have sideboard, something like that. And unfortunately, this deck box is just not going to be quite big enough to really suit both of those needs. Now, of course, some people travel with multiple commander deck boxes. In fact, I've heard of some people who will carry, 2, 3, 4 commander decks with them in separate boxes like this, but they'll have a separate box where they keep all of their sideboards and their tokens and whatever else that they need for those particular decks. If you're the kind of person that does that, this is not as big a deal for you, but like I said, you want to try to have it so you can at least fit some additional cards in there. Now, I am noticing here up top, you'll see that there is a little bit of a space there. Now, say for instance, I max it out and I put 115 cards just like that here. Could I actually take additional cards and put them in the side here? And that would be a maybe, because I'm not sure how clear you see that, but it's kind of pressing up against the sleeve a bit, but uncomfortably so, to the point where I would not recommend you actually do that. As far as these fitting in here sideways, that's a very tight fit. So yeah. So if you were to actually fill this up this way and then try to put additional cards on here on the side, they do technically fit, but it's a very snug fit. So that's going to be up to you. So technically, if you wanted to, you could fit 115 cards in this way and then stick, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 tokens sideways like that, and technically it will fit. So up to you. Up to you if you want to do it that way. I probably wouldn't, but it's your cards. You do what you want with them. All right, so let's go ahead and do a magnet test now. Let's load up our commander deck back in here again. And of course, no, this is not a true commander deck. It's just 100 standard size cards. Give me a break. Anyways, but yeah, let's go ahead and get this in here. We're going to close this up just like this, and we're going to do ourselves a little shake test. And that's just to test these magnets here on the front. I'm going to start off really, really light just to see how they hold up, and then I'll work my way up a little bit more vigorously until it fails. All right, so here we go. 100 cards, standard size commander deck. All right, here we go. Very light shaking, no problem there. Yep, holding up just fine. We're going to go a little more aggressive now. Wow, really holding up now. Let's go much more aggressive. Oh, there it goes. Now it finally failed. Okay, that's actually really good. This is a combination of the fact that there are 6 magnets here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the fact that this flap is as long as it is. Okay, because it sits so far down here, the pressure and the angles would have to push it a little bit harder to get those to slide out, because it does have that extra kind of width there to work with there. So as far as the magnets and the overall build of this being able to hold in 100 commander cards, it actually works really, really well. I'm very impressed with that. So excellent job there on the design and the magnets themselves. So what do I think about this deck box overall? I would say it's good. It has pretty good build quality. Like I said, there were a couple of issues with some loose threads and some glue. The commander window is okay, although as you can see, it picks up fingerprints and dust pretty easily. So just keep that in mind. The snap holder is pretty standard. It does come with a little inner sleeve. It slides in and out just fine. That is one thing you will have to take into account. If you turn it like that, it's going to come right out. It does hold up to, like I said, I've maxed out at about 116 standard size cards. If you want to push it further than that, that's up to you, but I wouldn't recommend it. I would say if you bought this looking to use it with a commander deck, I still have my reservations because, like I said, most people like to have a little extra room for tokens. If this thing could fit, say, 125 cards, if it was just a little bit bigger, if it held 125 cards, I would say yes, go get it. Because it doesn't quite fit that kind of minimum standard that I place for myself on these deck boxes, I'm going to leave that up to you. You saw me put 116 cards in there. It was a very, very snug fit. If you think it's still enough for your needs, I would say go for it. As far as what the pricing is, I don't like to mention pricing because, again, these things do change all the time. So, yeah, I would say it's actually not bad. If I saw you walking around with this deck box, I'd be like, all right, okay, that's cool. I get it. That's fine. You know, nothing wrong with it. It's not a super fancy deck box, but it gets the job done. I'll say that. So, yeah, Vinsu, I think you did a decent enough job here. If there was any recommendation that I would have, if possible, make this thing like 2 or 3 millimeters longer. Because if I could get those extra 5 or 6 cards in there, like if you could push the capacity from about 115 to say about 120, 125, this would be an absolute buy in my eyes. So, because that's really the only thing that's really keeping me from pushing it is the capacity issue. But other than that, pretty good deck box. I would say if you're going to buy it, good deal. Thanks for checking out the video, guys. I really appreciate it. Thanks for watching and all that other good YouTuber stuff. Like, subscribe, share. There will be an affiliate link down in the description for this particular product. If you do use those links to purchase any products on Amazon, I do get a little bit of a kickback, so just giving you all full disclosure there. And again, this was sent over to me for free in exchange for an honest review. And as I said, I think if you buy it, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. It's a perfectly capable deck box. The magnets and the way that they're situated, very, very good. The build quality is good enough. It could be better. But yeah, pretty good deck box. Thanks for checking out the video, guys. We'll see you all next time.